Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Manning Bowl and Lynn. I'm Don Boyle, Bippy Manuel alongside as we get set to broadcast some of the game from the annual Hoffman Jamboree, once again here from Manning Bowl and Lynn. And games played a little bit earlier. Triton beat Manchester by a score of 7-0. Adam Noak, an 8-yard pass from Tony Volpone, and the extra point by Chris Glass was good. 7-0 final, Triton over Manchester. It was Saugus 8 and Austin Prep nothing as quarterback Bill Von Handorf ran in from 3 yards out, and the 2-point conversion was good, and Saugus had an 8-0 win over Austin Prep. Danvers beat Pope John by the score of 7-0 in their 16-minute period. An 11-yard touchdown run by Joe Ferrandi. The 2-point conversion by Kevin Brown was good. Marblehead beat Linfield a moment ago, scoring in the last minute of play. They win by the score of 12-7. A 19-yard touchdown catch by freshman Mark McCarthy. Nat Weiser had a 42-yard touchdown run for Marblehead in that game. And Todd Guido scored on a 52-yard pass from Jay Nugent for Linfield's points. As we get set now for Lynn Classical taking on St. John's Prep. Classical will have the football first. Niceo Echevarria is the quarterback. They go with a wing out to the left. One running back behind Echevarria, and they hand it off and running it up the middle for Lynn Classical. We'll have to pick up his number, I believe. We'll have to wait for him to get up off the bottom of the pile. Was it Derek Lane on the first run? We'll have to pick it up here. But we're just underway. First play from scrimmage. And Bippy, it's nice to have you alongside on a perfect night for high school football.
Always great, and a great night for the Jamboree. Got a decent crowd here. Jamboree is always one of the favorite events here in North Shore High School football. 18 teams playing. It gives the kids the opportunity to play in front of a crowd in game situations.
Second down and 8 yards for Lynn Classical. Echevarria keeps it and rolls out to the left, up over the 50-yard line, and he's driven out of bounds, but he really put some punishment on the St. John's Prep defender down there. Jonathan Barsamian out of West Newbury.
Well, let me tell you, Donnie, that Classical set that up with the first play of the ball game. Straight dive, went double wing, straight dive. Then they reversed out. The quarterback, Echevarria, reversed out. An option, he had the pitch. He had the option to pitch. Didn't need the option. He cut it up inside. And boy, did he put a hit on that defensive cornerback coming up.
He certainly did. Niceo looks like he's worked out a little bit, and he's in great shape right now. So it's 1st and 10 for the Rams at the 37-yard line of the Prep. Niceo Echevarria throws the pass, and it's picked off by a big lineman of St. John's Prep. Johnny on the spot. Tim O'Connor at 6 feet, 245 pounds. He leaped up, and the pass went right into his arms, and he had the presence to hold on to it. Great interception. St. John's takes over at their own 43.
That's the whole series there, Donnie. That was a look or a slant pass, a quick slant to the wideout. Echevarria, again, not being a tall quarterback, very talented, good football player, seen him for 3 years. However, what happened, one of those big old linemen got their hands up, got the ball, and the ball fell into his belly, and now we go back the other way with the Prep.
Well, St. John's Prep suffered just one loss a year ago in a tremendous season. They lost in the Super Bowl game, or playoff game, we should call it now, to Brockton after beating them earlier in the season. There's a pitch out, comes left side. St. John's Prep carrying the football. Andy Fournier downfield to the 40 to the 39 of Lynn Classical as he turns the corner. He's a speedster, and he shows us his speed on the first play from scrimmage.
And when you've got somebody like that in your backfield, Donnie, you use that speed. That was a quick option, and what that was, a pitch all the way. The quarterback really didn't option anybody. It was a real quick option. St. John's knew they were going to pitch the ball. What has to happen is that defensive cornerback for Classical has to turn that in. His responsibility is to turn that pitch man in, contain.
Matt Marvin wide to the left. Moses is the quarterback. I backfield behind the quarterback. Pitch out left side. Fournier again is going to turn the corner inside the 40, 35-yard line, and he's knocked out of bounds at the Lynn Classical 29, and he picks up yet another first down for the Prep.
Again,
close to it. I'm a little bit shy on that. About a yard and a half shy.
You're right. Your eyes are a lot better than mine anyways, Donnie. But in a Jamboree like this, you know, you're going to go with what you know how to do best. And obviously, St. John's Prep is going to use Fournier. That time it was a power sweep. They're pulling guards and pulling tackles. They're going to use Fournier because that's their key back in this offense, coming out in a normal pro I set.
2nd down and 2 for St. John's. There's a handoff right up the middle to Jonathan Ophelos, and Ophelos may have fallen forward and picked up the first down. We'll have to wait for them to unpile. Making the tackle was Derek Lane for Lynn Classical.
keeping them honest that time, Donnie. Just a simple dive, straight up with that eye. You know the up back, and that back can go either odd or even side. But all that does is it keeps your linebackers honest. Because as we've seen, they use Fournier to the outside. He's got great speed. So they've got to keep those linebackers honest in there.
Third down, less than a yard for St. John's Prep. Just inside the 30 of Lynn Classical. Pro set, the quarterback keeper Moses able to twist and turn down to the 25 and pick up the first down as he shows us some strength from the quarterback position.
Pretty impressive this dive.
Elliot Vega made the tackles.
Elliot Vega. Pretty impressive this drive, Donnie. They've used a lot of different looks. That time they were in a divide backfield pro set from the play. They were in an I pro set. St. John's is showing you a little bit of everything.
Prep looks sharp offensively in their exhibition games. The defense, a little sketchy, but they come up with the turnover to start this drive here. Moses back to pass, 30-yard line, flares it out towards the corner of the end zone. Fine defensive play made down there for Lynn Classical. Making the play, Mike Zukowski for Lynn Classical.
And again, awful difficult, Donnie, to pick these numbers up, as you said before. That time, St. John's came out with a weak side slot. They took their extra back and they put them over in the weak side. All they did was twin goes. Outside receiver, inside receiver, straight down the field, threw it to the outside receiver. Almost caught.
They send one wide receiver out wide to the right. That is Matt Marvin. He'll be a quarterback along with Moses throughout the season. They work out of the eye. Fournier, the tailback. On the keeper, coming around right end, moving it upfield is Moses. Moses inside the 10, picks up the first down. It will be goal to goal for St. John's Prep.
Different type of option that time. They went to the strong side that time, Donnie. And that time the quarterback actually did option. Actually, what he ended up optioning was the cornerback coming up. When the corner comes up and does his job, which he's supposed to turn that pitchman in, there's nothing inside. The quarterback steps up inside, and he made good yardage on that.
Ball on the near hash mark. St. John's in the white uniforms. Lynn Classical in their familiar gold and green. So they're backed up inside their own 10, down near the 8-yard line. Prep comes out. They break the huddle. They show the pro set. Offlios and Fournier in the backfield. Receiver Marvin wide to the left. There's a handoff to Fournier. Splashes across the line of scrimmage. Untouched into the end zone for 6 points from 8 yards away. Andy Fournier.
We do a lot of talking, Donnie, about Coach Fournier. Looks to me like to be a quality back. You've got to give those front people some credit up front for St. John's. They've been doing the job. St. John's moved right down the field using a series and a whole array of different looks, different plays. But those people are blocking up in front, and they're getting off the ball too, whereas Classical seems to be sitting back a little bit. That's why a lot of these options have been working, both sides, and I think Classical now has to start coming off the ball in the snap.
Lynn Classical, one of their strengths would be their defensive line here in 1992, along with their offensive line. Of course, the strength in numbers for St. John's Prep throughout the years. As they go for 2 points here, leading 6-0, looking for the 2-point conversion. They fake the handoff, play action, back the pass, into the end zone. Everybody falls down in the end zone. It goes incomplete. And Stephen Moses lost his footing even when he tried to throw it. And the field shouldn't be that slick down there, Billy.
No, I think it was a little bit of pressure, and I couldn't see the number. I'm looking through the window here, but I couldn't see the number. The Classical kid, the defensive end, did a heck of a job getting through, putting the pressure on, and kind of hurrying that pass and forcing him to throw off his heels, which he didn't want to do. Quite impressive, Donnie, in the first series.
There was a penalty against St. John's Prep, of course, declined by Lynn Classical as the Prep could not come up with their 2-point conversion. And the Eagles lead the Rams by the score of 6-0 on that 8-yard touchdown run by Andy Fournier. Full night of football ahead of us, of course, right here on TV3. Pip Emanuel alongside. Lynn Classical will take the ball over now at their own 40-yard line. In the Hoffman Jamboree, they do not kick off. They are allowed to punt, but they cannot advance that punt. So to spot the ball where it's caught on the punt, if they do in fact catch it, of course.
That's to avoid injuries, Donnie. Real good rule, real good idea this early in the season.
So Lynn Classical comes out, down by 6 points. Inicio Echevarria remains at the quarterback position, wearing a shield across the front of his mask there. He looks like Darth Vader, so to speak. Back to pass Inicio Echevarria to the 30-yard line. Going to air it out downfield, and it's complete downfield. A big play inside the 25-yard line of St. John's Prep.
Boy, I don't even think that Echevarria was looking for that receiver. He had his receiver on the left side. doing a deep post, almost an opposite corner. The ball was up there, found a little seam in between the deep defender and the shallow defender, and it was right there. Big break for Classical.
Elliot Vega making the big reception for the Rams. Nicio Echevarria showing us a pretty strong arm. I had talked to Dave Dempsey a couple of days ago, and he says Nicio is going to have to prove to me he can throw the football, do it correctly, without many turnovers. He just threw a big one there after an interception earlier, so Dempsey showing some confidence. Here he comes, rolling out to his left, looks downfield, fires it, complete for Vega, up around the shoulder. He's inside the 10 to the 8. Nice play as Vega came across the field, and Nicio Echevarria caught him beautifully.
I'll tell you that time, and I didn't pick up the number. I think it was 41. Okay, through the block, is that? I want to mention that block. I'll tell you, that's what shook Echevarria free to make that decision. Mike Zukowski did a great job.
So it's 1st and goal for the Rams. So they respond after the St. John's Prep touchdown, and they're inside the 10-yard line of St. John's. So their offense looking skilled once again here in 92, as they had some great skilled players, of course, a year ago. Arthur Brown at the fullback position, Lex Thornton, Joffrey Boyd, Resendez Ball. 1st and goal from the 9. Echevarria bounces out left side. He's looking for the end zone. Tackle, fumbles the football to 1, and it's recovered by Lynn Classical.
Ball was carried by number 10, Nicio Echevarria.
Jamal Wilson making the fumble recovery for the Rams.
I don't think that should have been a fumble, even if, again, once the player's down, once the player's knee or the ball hits the ground can't cause the fumble. Looked to me like Echevarria was trying to put the ball over the goal line with his hand, but he was going out of bounds, and the ball came back, and he bounced the ball off the surface. I don't think it should have been a fumble. However, the official was right there, Donnie. Looked to me like he was going to call it a fumble.
11 minutes, 19 seconds remaining here in this mini game. St. John's leading Lynn Classical 6-0, but the Rams threatening 2nd and goal from the 3, and there's whistles and flags all over the place here at Manning Bowl in Lynn, and we'll have to see which way this penalty goes.
And people must understand too, Donnie, that they've only been practicing for a little over a week now, in contact for only a week. So, you know, a lot of times they use the Jamboree to get the bugs out. They're not concerned really with the penalties, with the offside penalties, with delay of game penalties. Those will work themselves out as we practice more during the season. But however, what they get a chance to, they meaning the coaches, get a chance to look at is some talent under game conditions, under pressure conditions. The kids still love this, you know, the crowd's here, Donnie. It's great. It's a regular game to these kids.
Key point you bring up, playing in front of that crowd, especially for the first-year players here. This is a great way to get warmed up and find out what high school football is all about.
Sure is.
We have a timeout on the field taken by Lynn Classical. They have the ball, 2nd down and goal, inside the 10-yard line of St. John's at the 7. We'll take a break. You are tuned to Warner Cable TV 3 Sports.
Y'all ready for this? Y'all ready for this?
I took a TV timeout without the authority of producer Dave McCarthy, and he will have my head a little bit later on, Bip, because you've worked with Dave many times. He's difficult to work for.
Oh, he cracks the whip. There's no question about that, Donnie. You know, Dave, he's producer, director, boss, this, whatever you want him to be. And he's up here in the booth with us, so we got to be very careful. It's like, you know what I mean? We're being watched closely.
Looks like the ball's at the 7-yard line for the Rams. 2nd down and goal as they try to even the score here. One running back behind Echevarria, the quarterback. Double wing formation. Echevarria rolls out to his right, trying to stiff arm Marvin, and he's brought down in the backfield at the 12-yard line. Big defensive play by St. John's Prep. Coming up with that play, once again, Matt Marvin, as Marvin can do it defensively and offensively for the Prep.
Marvin did a great job, because had Echevarria got to the outside and got to the outside of that tackle, now the pressure would have been put on the cornerback, Donnie. You would have had to either come up, make the hit on Echevarria, and leave the receiver in the end zone, or he stayed back. Echevarria would have been in for a touchdown.
Some of those offensive line players for the Rams, Brett Wigfall, one of the premier offensive linemen in the league. Davin Clement, Jamie McLean, and Davey Morales. And they're faced with a big 3rd down and goal from the 13-yard line of the prep. Echevarria rolls out to his right from the 20, throws it towards the end zone, leaping and making the catch in the end zone for Lynn Classical. A tie to score is Brian Smith.
Real good job that time, Donnie. I'll tell you what Echevarria does, it's almost like a flood pass. In old terms, it's a flood pass. He has his choice of receiver number 1, 2, and 3. He picked receiver number 3 in the end zone. He had to thread the needle in between 2 defenders. A good job. This shows me a little bit now, and Echevarria, you said that Dave Dempsey might have been a little bit concerned making sure that Echevarria threw the ball when he should, doesn't turn it over too much. To date, in this game, he's done a heck of a job.
He certainly has. That was right on the money. And the receivers for Lynn Classical have shown the ability to hold on to the football. Elliot Vega on this drive, and now Brian Smith going up to wrestle the ball away from the St. John's defender. So they'll go for 2 points. It's tied at 6. They work out of the eye. Echevarria with a hesitation and then a lunge forward towards the goal line, but he's smothered up by that defensive line of St. John's. And the score is now tied at 6. The prep will take over on their own 40-yard line.
Quarterback draw that time. Echevarria always been a tough kid. I remember a few years ago when he came in here as a freshman and he played quarterback for Dave Dempsey. He's matured an awful lot. He's not big for a quarterback, but I'll tell you, he's heady and he's gutsy, and he'll hit you. He'll bring it. As we saw in that first play when he came around the left side right over here and put his shoulder down. He looks like he's limping a little bit. Looks like he might have a pull, which is not uncommon this early in the season, Donnie.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Although it's a pretty warm night tonight, and they did practice behind us and warm up behind Manning Bowl and Lynn here over in the Fraser Field outfield, so they should have plenty of opportunity to limber up just a bit. But when you have that mean full contact of football, it's quite different than practice, that's for sure.
And you're not in football shape quite yet.
Matt Marvin now the quarterback for St. John's Prep. Got a wing out to the left. Pro set behind Marvin. First time he's taken the snaps, and he hands it off to John Paskuski, and he's brought down behind the line of scrimmage near the 39-yard line. So a great defensive surge by that defensive line of the Rams.
Real good job that time. Number 78 didn't get the number there. It's real difficult, Donnie.
Brought down by number 78.
We're looking for number 78.
Red Wigfall brought him down.
You just mentioned Wigfall.
He's a guy to watch for Lynn Classical. He could be the glue to this team. He could set the chemistry just right and balance things out for Lynn Classical. 2nd down and a long 10 yards for St. John's Prep. Marvin the quarterback. There's the handoff. And the whole line moves left, and wrestling his way back to the line of scrimmage is John Paskuski once again. Wigfall brought him down again.
They're being very conservative this time. They went power right, power left, off tackle, slant, whichever you want to call it, but they're being very conservative this time is St. John's Prep. Again, you want to try a little bit of everything. They'll mix kids in, mix kids out, try to find the right combination, and try to get everybody some work, at least in the first 2 units, and the first unit and the second unit, at least.
John Ferry out wide to the left. 3rd down and 10 for St. John's. They have a wing to the right. Pro set behind the quarterback, Marvin. Marvin's going to roll out to his right under pressure from Wigfall, and he's forced to throw it away, and it's incomplete. The intended receiver, Mike Carpenter, out of the backfield. He took a hit for good measure as Lynn Classical playing aggressively on defense.
And what it was, the moving pocket, he rolled out here. What happened again, he's forced to throw off his heels, and was Marvin defensively. The Rams have woken up here in this second St. John's series, and they're putting all sorts of pressure on St. John's. And we see now you got a 4th and 10, and they will be able to punt it, as you said, Donnie.
As you look at the size of both these clubs, St. John's much bigger on their offensive line than the defensive line of Lynn Classical. It looks as though the Rams have the athleticism and the speed. They're going for it on 4th and 10. They pitch it out. It's a bad pitch. Back to the 25-yard line, and falling on it safely is Rob Conrad. And St. John's Prep showing a little gambling in their system here in the early going. And why not? It's a Jamboree game. Get the offense out there. Let them take as many snaps as they can, Bippy.
Exactly, Donnie. You got nothing to lose. However, what it's showing me now, Lynn Classical is coming alive. It's starting to get the ball. You know, this is, as I mentioned, their first outing in front of the home crowd, in front of the people. Scrimmages are fine. You get a lot done in scrimmages. But you're in uniform. You're under the lights. You're here at Manning Bowl, and there's a couple thousand people watching, at least a couple of thousand. Now Classical's starting to get into the flow of the game.
Lynn Classical have the ball, 1st and 10 on the near hash mark at the St. John's Prep 27-yard line. Echevarria remaining at the quarterback position for the Rams in the gold helmet. And he sees a hole in that defensive line, cuts it to the outside, and is knocked out of bounds at the 12. Make it the 13 of St. John's. I think Echevarria saw something at the line of scrimmage.
He might have that option, you know. A quarterback sometimes has the option with the center to tap him on the left side or the right side. That tells the center which way to block. I'm going to block left, I'm going to block right. If he sees it, he goes. One thing I'm really impressed with Echevarria, he is not afraid to take people on. Anybody, whether it's a linebacker, a defensive corner, a safety, he takes people on. And his size, I'll tell you, which is not too big, gutsy kid.
Anton Walker in the backfield along with Robert Jones. Back to pass. Nicio Echevarria rolling out to his right. There's a penalty marker down. Echevarria slides by one defender, throws it near the end zone, and in for the score is Vega, but there is a penalty marker down, not one but two, right at the line of scrimmage. And this may go against the Rams.
It's going to be called back. Got a holding call against Classical. It's a preliminary call as holding against Classical. Flag was thrown right away, Donnie.
You know, even though there was a penalty on the play and it may have aided some of the protection of Echevarria, he was still very elusive in the backfield and found the receiver.
Well, he's a quarterback that can create situations. When you have a quarterback that creates situations, a lot of times you'll find what happens is he takes so much time that you can only expect the defensive back to cover for so long. That's a lot of times why you have the holding too, Donnie, is because that quarterback is getting away from people back there, and the offensive linemen get a little frustrated. So then, you can't expect them to hold their block for 10, 12 seconds. Just can't do it.
Great warm-up for even the officials here in this football game tonight, of course, as they get to officiate under the game conditions. So Lynn Classical backed up to the St. John's Prep 24-yard line, where they have it 1st down and 20 yards to go. Again, they work out of the eye. Twin receivers out wide to left. There's the handoff. Hitting the hole hard is Anton Walker, and Walker able to motor his way down to the 20-yard line. So a pretty good run and a gain of 4. They're going to mark it down now at the 21.
Hit the hole real quick, Donnie, I'll tell you. And he was just one hand away from a touchdown. A hand, I mean, someone stuck up the hand, caught his foot, and he was down. Walker's quick hitting that hole.
St. John's Prep very lucky that the cornerbacks and the linebackers read that play quickly and was able to bring down Walker. They send a receiver out wide to the right as Eric Lane. Again, they work out of the eye. Vega to the left. Back to pass Nicio Echevarria looking to his right all the way. It's complete on the slant and in for the touchdown. What a pretty play that was. Calvin Johnson, excuse me, with the touchdown reception of 21 yards.
One receiver all the way at Echevarria just was looking for Johnson all the way, a post pattern, quick post to the middle of the goalpost. A perfect pass. You've got to lead that receiver perfectly because you've got to keep that receiver between the ball and the defender. And that's exactly what happened. Nice cut, nice catch, nice pass.
If what Dave Dempsey said to me the other night is true, he lied to me, because he is letting Echevarria just throw that football all over the field, and he's doing a great job.
Well, coaches come in here to this game, to this scrimmage, with a lot of different philosophies. Some coaches say, hey, I'm going to work on my passing game. And, that could be that they're working a lot in their passing game. We see they're going to go for one now.
Anton Walker will put his foot into the ball, looking for the one-point conversion. The kick is up. The kick is wobbly. The kick is off wide to the left. It's no good, but Lynn Classical leads St. John's on a 27-yard drive, a big run by Nicio Echevarria, then a touchdown pass to Calvin Johnson of 21 yards, and they lead the Prep by the score of 12-6.
Go ahead, Donnie.
Reading all the newspaper accounts of St. John's Prep, moving the football rather well offensively here in the early going, but they're having their problems on the defense, and right now, Lynn Classical able to exploit those deficiencies in that D.
Sure, absolutely. It looks to me now, Classical is now bringing this game to St. John's Prep. St. John's Prep seems to be playing a little bit back in their heels right now, whether it's a little bit of shock, but Classical is bringing it to them, and that's what they say, bring it. And Classical is now bringing it to St. John's Prep. Again, first scrimmage of the year, not the first scrimmage of the year, but first uniformed game condition with the crowd and everything. It could be a little bit of a nervous.
Barzamian out wide to the right, receiver wide left, one running back behind a quarterback. That's Marvin. Marvin back to pass, flares it out left side. The receiver makes a fine catch as he slipped out there in the left flat. at the 45-yard line of Lynn Classical. Making the reception was John Ferry.
Just a little hitch and go pattern that time. What happened was that the quarterback simply hitched him one time, faked the ball, and then threw it on a go, about 10-yard go for first down.
15-yard gain on the pass play. And now St. John's has it on the far hash mark, moving from left to right, of course. Matt Marvin, the quarterback, at 6'2", 195 pounds. Back to pass, 50-yard line. Zings it complete, wide open. Moving his way downfield is Peskuski, and he is finally brought down, but not until he reaches the Ram 15-yard line. Tripping him up on the play down there, and making a fine play was Calvin Johnson defensively.
Little delay seen that time. What happens is the receiver delays the count, 1,001, 2 counts, maybe 1,002, lets the zone clear out, and then he just a quick slant that time, a seam pattern, whatever you want to call it.
Matt Marvin put the pass right on the money. They go with one running back. Keith Betancourt, the lone running back. No, check that. Marvin's going to pass it anyhow. Lobs it towards the end zone. Up for grabs, and it's incomplete. Bazamian looking over his shoulder for the football at the goal line. And if he had turned a little more to his right, he may have had 6.
And that's a time pattern. That's like a fade pattern to the corner of the end zone, Donnie. It's simply a time pattern. The quarterback just takes a quick 2 or 3 step drop, throws it up for the corner of the end zone, hoping that a lot of times if you have a receiver that's 2 or 3 or 4 inches taller than your defender, you just fade it and just hope the receiver can get up there and catch it.
A couple of the linebackers out there for Lynn Classical. Robert Jones, one of the linebackers. He plays in the middle, the monster back right now. 7 across the line defensively. Back to pass Marvin again, goes towards the end zone. He had a receiver wide open, and he missed him down there. He had a great opportunity to put 6 on the scoreboard to Matthew O'Connell, and the pass goes incomplete.
Well, again, I think St. John's now is working a little bit in their passing game. I think in normal situation, they may try to move the ball a little bit more. But now Coach O'Leary decided to come out and work in his passing game.
Sets up a 3rd down and 10 from the 15-yard line of Lynn Classical.
And that's what you can do in these types of scrimmages, Donnie, was what I was going to say. You can work on, like I told you, whatever you want to work on. No pressure.
Pretty good crowd here, especially on the near sideline for this football game here at historic Manning Bowl. They send the receiver out wide to the right. Polano wide to the right side. 3rd down and 10 from the 15 for the prep. Eagles quarterback Marvin back to pass. Going to flare out the screen to the left side. It's set up nicely inside the 15 near the 10-yard line. And finally spun down is Jonathan Ophelios.
26, Jonathan Ophelios.
You're getting close with those names, Don. You're doing a heck of a job.
You're looking down quickly, you know.
But anyways, on the screen situation, they did set it up well, but it's the job of the linebackers to read that screen. They have keys. Their keys are usually the near back and whatnot, but they're allowed to sit back and read that screen, and I think Classical did a good job at defending that screen also.
So it's 4th down and 6 for St. John's Prep. Of course, they're going to go for it here. Let's see what that Lynn Classical defense is made out of. Marvin's going to hand it off. And moving with the football is Ophelios, and he is brought down right at the line of scrimmage.
He was shut down by Classical. I think Classical doing a decent job this time, with the exception of that one little delay pattern that pass that St. John's completed for good yardage. Classical's done their job.
Big defensive play by Davin Clement and Derek Lane for Lynn Classical, and they'll take over on downs. 6:23 remaining in this mini game. 12-6, Lynn Classical leading St. John's Prep. 2 touchdown passes by Niceo Echevarria, one to Brian Smith with 13 yards. A little while ago, Calvin Johnson on a slant across the middle had one right on his numbers. A 21-yard touchdown pass from Niceo Echevarria. Echevarria remains at the quarterback spot. Haven't seen that wishbone from Lynn Classical here. They got a slot out to the left. That's Vaga. And there's a handoff right up the middle. It's Robert Jones, and Jones with power from the 10-yard line all the way out to the 20. A gain of close to 11 yards and a 1st down here for Lynn Classical. Or they're going to be just shy. They're going to say a 9-yard gain. That's where his knee went down at the 21.
And what they do is they put those receivers out wide, and they take extra wide splits in the offensive line, and that opens up defensively the St. John's Prep line. That way you can get those inside dives, those inside slants going for you.
Receiver out wide to the right, Calvin Johnson. He has a touchdown pass reception in this game. High backfield. Penalty markers down. The ball run up the middle by Anton Walker. Walker got back to the line of scrimmage, but I got a feeling this one's going against the Rams too.
I think so. The flag was thrown in there. Possibly a procedure call. I can't see the preliminary. Oh, offside. Offside.
No, offside St. John's.
It was thrown right away.
They must have just lined up offside on that one.
St. John's, rather.
Someplace in the neutral zone, usually if that flag goes down that early.
So Lynn Classical gains 5 free yards, and it sets up a first down. It actually gives them a first down out near the 25. Ball in the middle of the field. The Rams leading 12-6. Here in this football game, the Hoffman Jamboree on TV3.
25-yard line.
Calvin Johnson comes to the near side. Inicio Echevarria stumbles and falls forward from the 25 out to the 26-yard line. Just lost his footing.
And just, like you said, just lost his footing.
That play had some potential.
And, well, that's that same play we saw down here at about the 20-yard line, or 30-yard line, rather, where Echevarria made all that yardage. It looks to me like St. John's is in a 44 defense. 4 down linemen, 4 linebackers. Sometimes that leaves huge gaps. They fill the gaps because they slant and they loop and they slide and they do other things. Now they're in a normal. Now they're back in a normal.
Second down and 8. They pitch it out left side to Walker. Walker wants to swing it out around the corner. Here he comes, 35, out near the 40-yard line. And he's driven out of bounds in front of the Classical bench. So Walker showing us some speed, and they'll mark the ball down at the 41-yard line, and they move the stakes, another Lynn Classical first down, and they pick it up on the ground.
And Walker showed me down here, I talked to you about his quickness. You don't let a good back turn that corner. Once yet, I've said this 1,000,001 times, Donnie, you let a good quick back turn that corner, square away, get his shoulders going upfield, and he's trouble because he's got all sorts of speed.
Rams have it, 1st and 10. Their own 41-yard line, near hash mark. Wing out to the right is Vaga. There's a pitch back to Walker. Walker going to try to splint it out to the right. It's around the 40-yard line, down the field, cross midfield, and out of bounds in St. John's territory. And they mark him down at the 44-yard line. Is that where they're going to put it? They're going to say he stepped out
I think you're
way
right.
back. They're going to say he stepped out inside Classical territory at the 47-yard line. So a gain of close to 6 yards, and it looked like a lot more from our vantage point, Bill.
See, and you tell your cornerbacks now from a defensive backfield coach, with a kid with that type of speed, you've got to turn that thing inside. If you have outside responsibility, if you're a corner on that side, or whoever's covering, a strong safety, a weak safety, whoever you are, you've got to turn everything inside. And they let this kid keep turning it upfield, he's going to break one for us. Like a screen setup.
Echevarria back the pass. Yeah, he's got nowhere to go with it.
No.
And now he's going to fire it downfield, and it's complete, dropping to his knees at the St. John's Prep 20-yard line. And coming up with the reception is Brian Smith. So Echevarria again able to find those receivers, but he had plenty of time.
Oh, I'd like to see that one replay. It looked to me like they were setting up a screen, but then again, they weren't because all the receivers were down. I didn't see a screen back drifting out. I did see the lineman, but I didn't see the lineman drifting out. Now they're going to bring it back. Donnie, they must have said that was no catch. And I'm not sure what the call is here. They bring it back to the line of scrimmage. Illegal man downfield against Classical. So they're going to bring that one back.
Penalty was against Lynn Classical.
It's a 5-yarder. I believe it's loss of down.
It will be 2nd and 9.
2nd and 9 now, Donnie.
So Lynn Classical penalty does not help out, obviously. They pitch it out left side. Running with the football, turning the corner with speed for Lynn Classical inside the prep. 40-yard line down to the 37. And a fine run.
Down by number 3, Adam.
Was that Zukowski on the run?
Zukowski, 31, I believe, Donnie. And if I'm one of the other Northeastern Conference coaches scouting this game, the first thing I write on my pad of paper, speed. Because speed is going to get you. And I can tell you right now, Classical has had, they're going through the talent cycle, and the talent is still there. Everybody knows Classical has a lot of talent, and they still have the speed. You've got to contain that speed. You're going to be in trouble if they don't, the opposing teams.
Elliot Vega out wide to the right. There's a handoff, hitting the hole quickly and moving it inside the 35. Down near the St. John's Prep 33 is Robert Jones. Jones, a senior at 5'8", 195 pounds, also plays fullback for the Rams.
Down by number 73, Dan Triandafilo.
That offensive line is giving Echevarria some great protection and opening up the line.
And it's multi-dimensional here. You know, they can throw the ball, they can run to the outside, they keep you honest inside, they got those quick backs, they got Echevarria who can do a lot, who can create situations. To me right now, Lynn Classical looks like a team that has to be contended with.
Double wing formation. Second down and a long 6. Echevarria rolling out to his right. He's under some pressure. It's a great block. Now he fires it complete to a diving Calvin Johnson. No, they say he caught it out of bounds. That was a great block, however, springing Nisio Echevarria and giving him time to throw the football. Mike Zukowski making the big block for the quarterback.
Donnie, that's the difference in a marginal football team and a good football team, is those little things such as your blocks that nobody talks about, such as your offensive and defensive line play, that in the paper nobody will talk that the defensive line had a good game. They'll say the quarterback did, the receivers, this, that, but I'll tell you, it's those little things that the coaches pick up, and I know the other opposing coaches are watching, and I've seen a lot of that with Lynn Classical tonight.
Third down and a long 6 yards for the Rams. Ball to St. John's Prep 33. Echevarria rolling back to the 45, sets it up left side. It's complete to Zukowski, but that play read nicely by St. John's Prep defensively, and Mike Carpenter putting the tag on Zukowski.
No problem. That'll be taken care of in practice. What happened was one of the linemen there, your job on a screen, you don't look back for the football. What happens is when that receiver, when the back catches the football, he catches it, yells go. As an offensive lineman, you're always looking upfield. What happened is a Classical offensive lineman turned around to find out where the ball was, where the quarterback was. You can't do that. Keep your head upfield, and he would have made that block, and that screen was set up very nicely.
St. John's Prep calls timeout to stop the clock. They trail 12-6 with 1:58 remaining here. Now they're going to call it the 2-minute warning. So they do have the 2-minute warning in these 16-minute mini games, and this is the first of, I believe, 5 tonight right here on TV3. Lynn Classical controls the football. 4th down and 13, must advance it down to the 27. Echevarria rolls out to his right. Now he's going to come back left side. He's able to throw the ball away, and no penalty markers down. The officials all look around at each other, and they don't call intentional grounding.
Probably not in Jamboree. I would expect possibly in a regular season game. I think that's Donnie January back there, the back. Yeah, that's one of the officials, Donnie January. I think that in a normal season, in a regular season game, they might have called grounding on that. There was nobody within 20 yards of that pass, Donnie.
Bill Loud, that looks like Bill Loud is the head official here.
Okay, could be. 2 of the better officials, I'm not sure.
So, St. John's Prep facing some adversity in Lynn Classical and also the clock at this time. 1:51 remaining, down by 6 points. They flip it out to Fournier. Fournier hit hard and driven out of bounds by a couple of Rams. Calvin Johnson over there to say, how do you do to Andy Fournier. Hit him up high and hit him very hard.
One number that impresses me is number 31 again, Donnie. It's Zukowski, I believe. I shouldn't even have to check this thing out. He's been in on a lot of plays defensively, a lot of plays offensively. Show me some good blocking skills, some good running skills. This kid's a good football player.
The Prep has it. It's 1st and 10. Fournier gaining 10 hard yards. He's lightning quick. Now on the quarterback keeper left side on the option, Steve Moses. Moses able to feel his way inside the 50 down to the Lynn Classical 49-yard line. And the Prep will stop the clock here with 1:39 remaining.
And you just wonder how much, again, the St. John's Prep wants to accomplish here. You know, they're going to go out of here. They'll have films on this scrimmage, and they'll go out of here and they'll look at the films. They'll make some corrections. Nothing major. Again, they're here as a learning process, more to get these kids used to game situations than they are anything else. Whether you win or lose in a Jamboree really makes no difference at all.
Lynn Classical opens up their regular season Saturday night against Dom Salvio, while St. John's Prep will play host to Greenwich, Connecticut, one of the highly touted prep schools in the entire country concerning high school football. So a formidable foe for St. John's, and likewise for Lynn Classical in their openers next Saturday.
Well, again, now it's just a matter of finishing off the scrimmage. You got 1 minute and 8 seconds left to go. 2nd and 10 for St. John's Prep, and they're at midfield. Now, are they going to throw the ball? I would say probably not. They might throw the ball.
It will be 2nd and 10. Ball
2nd and 7. I'm looking at the clock, and it said 2nd and 10.
More like 2nd and 9, I would say. At any rate, they need 49 yards to tie up this game, and I think that's offside.
I think that's a legal procedure, and what that is somebody not listening in the huddle, and they're going to go back and say, son, listen to the snap count. Listen to the snap count. It's definitely procedure. I'm not even sure what the discussion is about, Donnie.
A legal procedure. They're going to call it against the Rams.
Interesting. What would cause a legal procedure? That's one I'm going to have to ask Donnie January next time I see him. What would cause a legal procedure
On the defense.
on a defense? I don't. That's a new one on me. It must be there. They called it.
Encroachment.
Well, there would have been encroachment, not illegal procedure.
Just guessing, Pip. 2nd down and 5, any rate, for St. John's Prep. A little mix-up in the backfield and throwing the football away, Steve Moses. And offensively, St. John's Prep just fizzling against the speedy and tough Lynn Classical defense here in the Hoffman Jamboree tonight. 1:08 remaining on the scoreboard clock, and St. John's faced with a 3rd down and 5.
Morales was in the backfield almost before the ball was, Donnie.
It is 3rd and 5. Ball is at the Classical 45-yard line.
They send Marvin out wide to the left. Definite passing situation in my estimation for St. John's, but what do I know? There's a little movement by the up back in the eye. No penalty markers down. There's a quick handoff right up the middle and twisting his way downfield.
By number 26, Jonathan Opoulos.
Jonathan Opoulos on the carry for the Prep. Conservative play, picks up the 1st down, however. Still plenty of time left. 1 minute straight up. Opoulos, the only running back behind the quarterback. Moses looking out to his left. He's going to air it out, and it's going to be picked off, thrown right down to the Rams defender, and scampering upfield is Niceo Echevarria. And Echevarria advances the interception from his 10-yard line out to the 22, and we have an injured St. John's Prep player down in the field, and you hate to see that in a Jamboree type situation, or for that matter in any type of game.
Right. It looks. I see movement there. And you always, when a kid's down, you look for movement, and you hope that there is movement, but you don't like to see that, Donnie. Again, especially this late in the scrimmage. They played 15 and a half minutes here almost, and yeah, he's moving. It's
Steve Moses, the quarterback, is down now. He's finally rolling over, but he does look like he's in some sort of pain. And of course, we will not estimate or make any predictions on what type of an injury he may have received down there. We do know he probably got whacked pretty good when he let the ball go.
Well, he has been whacked all day long by this Lynn Classical defensive line. Morales and the such, they've been putting pressure on the quarterback all night long. And again, it gets to you. It really gets to you.
Andy Fournier scored the St. John's Prep touchdown on an 8-yard run as they got on the scoreboard first to lead 6-0. And then Lynn Classical came roaring back. 2 touchdown passes by Niceo Echevarria, a 13-yard TD pass to Brian Smith, and a 21-yard beauty on the slant in to Calvin Johnson for the 12 points for Lynn Classical, as the quarterback is now getting up for St. John's Prep, Stephen Moses, and that's good news for Prep fans, and he's being helped off the field, and obviously he has injured his right leg in some way. Hopefully it's not a knee, and put the senior quarterback for St. John's Prep out for the year. We would hate to see that.
And if he got hit and went down, sometimes you get that leg caught inside and you can't get it. It's like a twisted knee, which is not a bad injury. It's not a hit, it's not a bang, it's not a broken bone. It's like a twist, hyperextension sometime.
Lynn Classical has the football, so they come up with the big interception. Niceo Echevarria just playing a whale of a Jamboree game here, and he's going to run it. And boy, he has shown us some power. He just pushed back those St. John's defenders and gained an extra yard.
I'll tell you, this whole Lynn Classical Ball Club impresses me. Certainly the offensive line and defensive line. I gotta bring that up, Donnie. If I were to watch films, they're getting off the ball. They're putting pressure on that St. John's defensive line. They're getting to them. And when you play on your heels, you're gonna lose.
31 seconds remaining. Rams send Johnson out to the right. Vega out to the left. They have it second down and 4. Echevarria gained a neat 6 yards, and that quarterback keeper again, he keeps it, and he's able to bounce around and move upfield and comes close to the first down marker out near the 33.
It's obvious what Dave Dempsey is. Dave Dempsey and his staff have seen what they want to see tonight. They've got plenty to look at. They're just real happy to let this thing run down and go home. No injuries. They might have a scrimmage tomorrow, so, you know, they wouldn't want to get these kids too tired up.
That's it. That's going to do it for our first game on TV3 Sports. Lynn Classical with a 12-6 win over St. John's Prep. And if you look at the positives, the passing game of Nicio Echevarria and the defensive unit in an entirety, a great game against a very powerful St. John's Prep team. We're going to take a break. We'll be back with more Jamboree football from Manning Bowl and Lynn. English and Peabody up next.
This vehicle